Greetings, fellow residents of White Pine Bay. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And welcome to Talking Mrs. Bates. Sure, we check into the Bates Motel.
But we don't always check out. Strings.
Mother! Okay, BlueDragonFive, yes, you still got Ultron on the mind, obviously.
A little.
I bet you when you were sleeping this last night, you were just like in your sleep, just like strings.
I had the strangest dream that I was tangled in strings. Sorry, folks, it's still on the mind. Yeah. And it's still plaguing us with technical.
Wonderful start.
And it's still plaguing us with technical difficulties, as you've probably picked up on by now.
Yeah, awesome. That's just wonderful. Okay, we should probably just jump right into it. BlueDragonFive, Season 3, Episode 8, entitled The Pit. What do you think of this?
Rings a little familiar, because I could have sworn last season we got an episode called The Box. You know, box, pit. A little similar, not saying it's bad, I'm just saying a little similar.
Don't make me play that 7th clip again.
No, don't. But seriously, this episode is really good. I really do like it. I think we had some of the best scenes in the series this episode.
I think this episode is good. I gotta say, I think maybe it's a step below the last 2 episodes that we got, because I think those last 2 episodes in a row were 2 of the best of the series. But
again, to be fair, we've been some of the best ones of the series in these last few. So to be fair, it's a high bar there. It would be kind of matching up.
I mean, yeah, as we've been discussing, this is definitely the best season so far, and so yeah, the bar just kind of keeps getting raised further and further and further. So
sorry folks, Ultron's hit us again. Oh, there he is, he's back.
Yeah, previously on Bates Motel.
Okay folks, so in a nutshell, last time what happened was Norman wasn't taking too well to the idea of Kayla being in the house, kind of getting integrated back into the family. Emma and Dylan are starting to get a little closer, and also Romero was really peeved at his father for finding out that his mother's name was being used on the manifest that was on the flash drive. So plot's really brewing here, folks. You know, things are starting to heat up, and Norman he's really losing it, and we see the big, huge looming thing take us in this episode. Was that he had some words with Finnegan, not nice words, because he ended up strangling him a little bit until he ran away. But with those words, kind of came out just faced in front of him that you want to sleep with your mother, and Norman is still kind of reeling over that and he blacked out the last moment of last episode, kind of looking at his mother lovingly, because it just, again, something a little moving about it. He's looking at his mother lovingly while Gene Austen's playing in the background.
Yeah, it's kind of terrifying,
but awesome.
All right, so we start this episode with Norma, and she's lying in bed in the morning, and she is just so pleased with herself because of how the dinner party went.
There is something so charming yet creepy about that, by the way. Just seeing her in bed with that giant, that's just that most happy, satisfied smile on her face.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just seeing her like that, because again, it's that sign to the Bates Motel that a member of the Bates family is happy, the other one, or usually the other 2, are miserable.
And oh my God, like Norman is going to become like in the darkest spot maybe he's ever been in. And Dylan is going to be like pretty close to dead. Pretty close.
Dylan's back in the danger zone, folks.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of that, Dylan, he comes into into Norma's room. Nice little scene. We have Dylan kind of just saying that he's going to be away at the farm for a few days. I love how Norma, she's like, "Oh, I'm so glad that Alex came."
Oh, again, Norma Bates is at her.
This whole episode, she was just like a googly-eyed schoolgirl over Romero.
Again, yeah, she's at her most adorable in this episode to date in the series. And again, she's been pretty much adorable and always a great character throughout this season and this series. But this one kind of takes the cake. I don't know. She's had a lot of great moments this episode. It's a classic, wide-eyed, hopeful. So you're right, schoolgirlish Norma. So then,
before Dylan leaves, they say that they need to talk about Norman when he gets back.
Yeah, they got to formulate a plan.
Oh yeah.
By the way, I love
And
the ominous thing they kind of have set up of like Dylan's going on the road and he won't be back for a few days, and basically the big kind of neat conceit with that is Dylan might come back to think the status quo being really changed. I love that kind of notion of Dylan being our shit, basically the same man of our show, aside from Normero. But again, Romero's kind of like he's the god of White Pine Base. He's kind of the mayor of Crazy Town in a certain respect. But still, the point is Dylan, our sane guy, he leaves the town, then things really go nuts when he's away. In a way, it's kind of interesting. Right. So basically, we got to need a formulated plan when I come back.
All right. So then we have Norman lying in bed, and Norma being adorable. You know, she just scooches right on up to him.
Hey, kiddo, how you doing? Then we kind of basically says, you know, he's fine, and he thinks he should go down. He's probably figuring he's got to go down to the office because Emma can only work a few hours because her health's really declining. And this whole scene, a little bit happens here.
Guess I should get down to the office now. Emma can only work a few hours a week. Are you worried about her? Yeah, well, I'm always worried about her. She's gonna die. I mean, I guess we all are, but it's just horrible to think about. And there's a lot of things that are horrible to think about. It's a wonder everyone hasn't lost their minds.
So 3 things to note right in that scene right there. It's going to be important to the episode. One, I think Freddie Homer is getting a really fantastic performance this episode. And with that, this episode, I think more so than any episode before. I mean, I've always kind of said this. He goes absolutely full Perkins this episode, not just full Norma. He goes full Perkins in this one. Like, there are moments where he's losing it to the point where he's emulating Perkins to a T better than he did almost.
For sure.
I mean, seriously, basically, with that, you can see also in this scene that Norman's he's really on edge. He's really losing it. And here's kind of an interesting thing. It's kind of rewatching this, and kind of picked up on this a little more. Norman is really coming to grips with the fact that one, that his reality is starting to become severely blurred. That he can't tell what is reality, what is fiction anymore. The blackouts and the hallucinations are getting really that bad. And it's really messing with his mind. In addition to that, what Finnegan said is also not help. I'm convinced, I'm just speculating here, that Finnegan's words have triggered Norman's kind of his blurred reality even further. Like just that
Oh,
kind
most certainly. Yeah, I definitely think Finnegan was kind of a jumping off point to kind of him going even more kind of over the deep end.
Because as we'll say later on, he's really been haunted with what Finnegan said to him. So I'm thinking just that trauma that kind of Finnegan laid on, that self-realization that was kind of like a traumatizing thing to him, just kind of triggered like this kind of back and forth in terms of reality hallucination. And with that, you'll notice there's something really brilliant that Highmore is doing. Again, Highmore is doing it fantastically in this episode. He's operating on so many levels when he's acting with Norma, Vera Farmiga in these scenes. Because you'll notice throughout the episode, he is drawn to Norma, kind of like he was in blackout mode last episode, because he's looking at her as kind of Norma mentions later on, like, you know, if you look at me now and again. But you'll notice he actually is doing this in this episode. When the next scene, in a moment, they're about to be looking out the window, saying, you'll notice Norman, he's kind of staring at her rear end a little. He is.
Oh God.
Now, seriously, he is. You can tell, again, Highmore is brilliant at this. You can see the horrified reaction on Norman's face. He says, I don't know what's wrong with you. I'm drawn to this.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But again, it's just like Norman just realized my baser instincts are taking over here, and I don't like it. I mean, it's like that. It's actually a rack focus shot, too. You can kind of notice that it is kind of drawing to the fact that he is noticing her in sexual ways, and he's really not happy with it. So anyway, speaking of which, after Norman's, he's still kind of worried about Emma. So he does have a soft spot for her, which again, good old Norman. He's a little distracted with all this stuff. But at his core, I think he really does care about Emma, as we know, definitely he does.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes later on.
We will. Emma's in trouble, folks, but then again, Dylemma's on the horizon.
It's kind of funny because last episode you were sort of speculating that Nema was going to kind of go out with one big last hurrah.
Oh, I still
think that's kind of dead in the water.
Well, no, I still think that because you still have that one shot in the trailer, so we'll see.
Oh, I don't know, BlueDragonFive. I don't see how Emma's going to be getting intimate with Norman.
Remember, Dylan's still out of town. Just remember that. Dylan's still out of town anyway.
Yeah, but just because Dylan's out of town doesn't mean Emma's just going to automatically change her mind. I mean, we'll get into her blog.
Well, I mean, there might be a lapse of judgment. That's all I'm saying. It might be a lapse of judgment along the way, but you got a point.
It would be a bad lapse of judgment. Okay. Anyway.
I'm saying it might. Okay, we'll get save it for spec. Okay, let's see what happens next. So they hear noises coming from the outside. They see a construction crew near the swing set. Again, you saw the swing set this time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, literally, they're literally standing around the swings. And for a moment, I thought, hey, are they getting rid of the swings? Is that the reason it's there? But no, they're just there to dig a giant hole in the ground, which apparently is for the pool that Norma requested. Let's just see her kind of reaction at talking to the guy outside.
Really? Well, where are the plants? On Paris side. But I haven't seen them yet. All I can say is they've been authorized. Okay, but don't you think I should see the plants? I mean, it is my pool. If you got any questions, you gotta call Bob Paris.
No, I can't help but think that Norma, this guy's kind of treating her a little. He could be a little nicer. Am I right in that? He could be a little nicer to her, just telling her you got to contact Bob Harris. Because I can only think in the back of her mind, she's thinking this sentiment to this guy. A little bit.
Oh god. I love how she scurries down the stairs, as we've always mentioned. She's adorable when she scurries.
I love scurrying. Yes, one of those hilarious things. Always just remembering they have this long staircase whenever they have to go anywhere. Just her scurrying down those stairs.
In her bathrobe, no less.
And also, it's important it's in her bathrobe. And bathrobe and boots. She always loves wearing the boots. But also again,
then,
I love how Emma's mentioned in her blogs. She just wished there was like an escalator on those stairs. So again, someone would see having to trudge up those stairs every time to get to that house.
That would be very convenient. Yeah.
It would be very good. Okay, so then Norman's on the scene. He's kind of like, as we would imagine, he didn't know about this whole deal she made with Bob Harris. So he's curious, like, what's the deal? What are they building?
Yeah, he kind of goes into manager mode a little bit. He's like, "Do we have the budget for this?"
Yeah, so he goes like a little something like this.
What on earth is going on? They are digging a hole for the new pool. Since when? I just thought it would be a great investment for the hotel. Oh, that's interesting since you told me we didn't have the money to buy down comforters. So just be happy you're getting a pool. I'll be in the office. You should go get some clothes.
First of all, I think the ending is just kind of is hilarious. Just him kind of pointing out the fact, you're lady, you're coming out, you're walking out here with your robe on.
Yeah. He's kind of like, it's almost sort of like a jealous husband. Like, what the hell is my wife doing out? He's getting a little territorial about it.
And also, remember, there's another level operating here. Again, in terms of Norman trying to downplay her sexuality, so he doesn't have these feelings for her. So he's just saying, "Put on some clothes, would you?"
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so you got some interesting stuff brewing with that.
I just love the line, just be happy you're getting a pool.
You're right, Tiki. It's hilarious just kind of Norman being the accountant of the family saying, well, you said we didn't have money for down comforters. Where's this money coming from?
Exactly.
It is funny. But I don't know. It always amuses me just him pointing out the fact, if you're married, she can make anything work. Seriously, she can make any dress, any fashion thing work. But again, the costume is really fantastic on the show. But still, just she walks out in these robes and everything, just Norman kind of pointing out, they'll go put on some clothes. And you just see on Vera Farmiga's face, just her reacting like, well, she covers up a little with the robes, kind of a little self-conscious, a little motion. I love it. It's adorable. It's like, oh, poor Norma.
So then we get the Bates Motel title, and then we have Normero at the used car lot, and you totally called this.
Oh, yes. I love this. I'm so happy. I was just giddy when this happened.
Yeah, I'm looking for early 70s Mercedes, 300D, light gray. They actually have one of those. Come on, let me show it to you. It's got some character, but it's outdated. She wants it back. Woman of soul. Let's get the case. Please.
Two things. One of the most hilarious bits in this thing is, again, this salesman is priceless. Again, he's kind of emulating the salesman from the movie, where he's rubbing his hands together when he sees Norma Bates walk in. But in this one, he's just has this kind of this snapping point to Romero saying, "You know what? I have just the car for you." I just love this motion. Like Romero's looking at the guy's finger, like, "Oh, this guy. I'm the god of white pine bit. What's this guy doing?" Essentially, this is like the point offends Romero so much. It's so hilarious. It's just the point Again, I love the idea that we're going to see later on is that Romero just literally just walked up to the guy and said, she wants the car back. I assume he didn't even need to make like a deal or a compensation or anything. Just his word as a law man and being the intimidating guy that he is. Yeah, she wants the car back. You're going to do this or I'm going to break you.
Yeah. He just asked for the keys. He's like, you're going to do this or I will break you.
Yeah, that sort of thing. And also, real quick, I want to sidebar something here just to say that for the folks, check out the A&E website or like the YouTube channel. So, Nestor Carbonell, the wonderful guy that he is, he answers a lot of questions and stuff with the fans at the actual set of Psycho where they do a little Bates Motel tour and everything. He's actually on the set giving you the history of Psycho, big fan. And yeah, it's really informative, really, really cool. He even talks about the cars and stuff. And really, really cool guy.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, it's really
so next we have Norma, and she's calling Bob's office.
Yeah.
Do you have any sound clips for this? I don't think you do, right?
No, I don't. So basically, Norma, she's just calling into Paris's office with Paris's assistant here, and there's one for this is important. This is one of the things she specified in that deal that she would have, get all the designs and everything. And Bob Paris is not giving her any designs, which implies this is not a pool.
Yeah, it becomes apparent pretty quickly that it's not a pool. But I love when it's like, okay, Mrs. Bates, Bob Harris is out of his office right now, but we'll have him give you a call as soon as he comes back. And she gives the most genuine reaction, just like, oh, great.
Yeah, Norma, she kind of has her blinders on this episode with Paris.
She really does, yeah.
Yeah, and also she's kind of always had her blinders on for Paris too, even despite the fact that Romero was shot by one of his guys. Are you sure it's Bob Paris that shot you? He seemed like such a nice man.
Oh dear. Yeah, he's a nice man for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so again, spelling kind of some danger there with the whole the pit kind of being it's a pit, not a pool. So there's some danger there. And by the way,
it is now Chekhov's pit.
By the way, I always love this. It's just kind of the runner with Norma and these people who make the appointments and everything. She's scheduled appointments with Nick Ford's people, and she's always just trying to. First season, she's always getting in to have an appointment with Romero, just saying, Norma Bates, who? Seriously? It's like the whole let me see Sheriff Romero right now. Norma and appointment.
Okay, so we have a really intimidating kind of scene with Bob and Finnegan, but this is kind of Bob Harris at his best.
Oh yes, essentially in this scene, Finnegan we see is like tied up, and his hands are kind of tied behind his back. So right off the bat, not kind of. It's a really tense scene. By the way, really well shot too. It looks all kind of basically looks like it rained beforehand. It's like kind of this dark kind of. Like the colors drained out, kind of like post-rain sort of atmosphere.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
looks really cool set for this, and basically just like out in the open, really cold and really quiet, and like we got an important character who's been in pretty much all the episodes this season. Bob Harris's goon.
Bob's goon.
Yeah,
Bob the goon. Bob's goon.
That's copyright. No, but basically, he's asking Finnegan, have you seen the flash drive? How long have you known Norma Bates? Do you sleep with all your, do you sleep with all your clients, like all your patients?
It's really simple. Jay. I'm just looking for this stupid little flash drive.
Yeah. And by the way, seriously, do you think after we've seen Ultron, does this guy not remind you of a young James Spader at all?
Yes. Oh my God, I'm glad you.
I've told you from the beginning. He looks exactly like James Spader in Secretary. I swear to you.
Yeah, he very much has Ultron's sense of humor of he's very intimidating, but he's also incredibly polite about it at the same time.
Yeah. Anyway, so Paris, you're right. This is one of the best Paris scenes we've gotten here. It's a really intimidating situation, yet he's being just the most pleasant businessman about things. Yeah, I love that's how he operates. He's basically, think about this with the character. He's the opposite of Romero. Romero's all business directly to the point, intimidating as heck. Paris, on the other hand, he's like a friendly businessman. Remember literally the whole scene where he had all the power and with the deal. He's just kind of looking at her. He's just all pleasant smile. He's all smiles. He's following the Marcus Young philosophy.
Yeah.
Smile more, Sheriff.
You gotta smile more, Sheriff.
He's following that philosophy of he's just all perceptive and listening, all open ears, like the best listener ever, Norma Bates. But it's shows you how good a businessman this guy is. I really hope this guy lives the next season. But we'll see. He's making big enemies.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
He wants the flash drives.
Well, if one of him or Chick Hogan lives till next season, just give me one of them living until next
I
season.
kind of want both of them to live, but one of them has to die. At least one of them. So basically, then this happens. Finnegan's kind of go-to response here for like being asked, he wants leverage on Norman Bates and give me some information. Norman Bates, a member of Bob's goon. So I called this, by the way. I was happy I called this. Bob's goon tailed Norma to Finnegan's house, and that's why he knows Finnegan's the guy to ask about Norma Bates.
Mm-hmm.
That came in handy because then this little bit happens here, the sad ending to our scene.
Asking me to violate patient confidentiality. I can't do that. I won't do that. Look, I don't know what you guys are up to. And frankly, I don't care. There's some things that matter in this world, some lines that can't be crossed. Basically, I'm telling you that you can go to hell. That's your professional obligation. Believe me, I understand. I respect you for it. This is very serious.
Poor Finn.
The equivalent of Ultron ripping off Claw's arm.
Well, don't spoil things for people, Tiki.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's one of the funniest parts in the movie, but still.
You know it is.
I love that bit. Still, don't spoil Ultron, folks. Anyway, so yeah. First of all, poor Finnegan. By the way, I always love Finnegan's last name. I always love Finnegan's name. By the way, James Finnegan. It always sounds really cool.
You know why it bothers me is that it just makes me think of Harry Potter.
It makes me think of Ratigan from Basil. From Great Mouse Detective.
Yeah, he's great. He's one of the most underrated Disney villains, along with Mick Leach from Rescuers Down Under.
Anyways, the point is, Finnegan. Finnegan, I think he's most likable of Norma's boyfriends in the series. I did gravitate towards him, and he felt bad.
Well, I mean, of course, if you're not counting Romero.
Well, Romero hasn't been officially yet, but they've been obviously they want to.
Sure.
I'm saying it's kind of like they haven't dated officially.
Yeah, Finnegan is definitely more likable than Shelby or George. For sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Because George, he was just all into his steaks and nothing else.
Seriously, what was that guy's issues with the steaks? But in all seriousness, Finnegan, he's a real guy. We understood this guy. You point out he was just really honest up front with Norma. He gave her some good advice. He was the logical guy in the relationship, saying, "Well, look, Norma, you're kind of in a fragile state right now. You should resolve these things. Don't put all the pressure on yourself."
Yeah, exactly.
The point is that we liked Finnegan. I felt really bad seeing him in this position, especially Norman almost killed him last episode. Now he's being it's such a painful thing. Folks at home that didn't know, he got a nail gun put into his foot, which gives him a limp. By the way, he still has a limp afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, God, I couldn't imagine him walking away from that without a limp.
Exactly. So the point is, poor Finnegan's getting towards it. Again, just shows you the menace of Bob Harris being the most friendly, upfront guy. But then again, with Romero, we had Bob Harris.
Bob, I respect that. That's your professional obligation, Bob. It's totally cool. Go ahead and drill a nail into your foot, but just know that I respect it.
Again, just with with Paris, it's just that intimidation factor. He chats all pleasantly with Romero and Norma. Then he sends Marcus Young to kill Romero.
Exactly.
Stuff like he sends his guys to kill Romero. Just like that menace is just always there. Okay. Anyways, the point is, we can just assume from this point Finnegan's arming them with really harmful information. So we got that kind of suspenseful build right there.
Right. Okay. So then I'm just gonna go ahead and let your audio clips do most of the talking for this next scene.
So then we get of course, one of our wondrous Chick Hogan scenes here. So we get back with Dylan's story here. Dylan's gearing up for the trip. He's about to get ready to go out of town to, as he said, normally go out of town for the gun running. Chick Hogan saying, "Hey, look, it's easy as 1, 2, 3," and he's giving the instructions for the job. And easy as eating boar jerky in a way.
Of course he's eating ball jerky.
And we get this stuff going on here. So I'm really just here. I compiled the best and funniest parts of Chick Hogan here.
Actually, give the guns to Pierre. Pierre gives you the money. You come back, and everybody's as happy as a little razor clam. Sure.
Now you'll listen to that. I kept this part in because it cracks me up. That I love Dylan being the same man of our series, just responding to this off the walls nutty guy who's like, sure, okay, sounds cool.
Right.
Just cracks me up. So again, so Romero's just so Chick Hogan is just laying out for him the whole. Okay, here's what you're gonna take the guns, but here I just love how just he's laying it out like point A to point B, just saying, hey, there's no problems. This is a slick salesman type guy. This guy's. You go, Pierre, easy 1, 2, 3. You'll all be happy as Razor clams. Who thinks of Razor clams?
Exactly.
Seriously.
That's what's so great about Chick Hogan. He just
Again,
comes up with these just off the wall analogies.
This guy, I've said it before. I'm sticking to it. This guy's the Christopher Walken of Bates Motel.
I think that's perfect.
Okay, let's see. So
we'll all be happy as a little Razor clam. Okay.
Hey, Caleb, want to hug it out? Maybe we can have some boar jerky. I mean, who doesn't love boar jerky? Am I right?
Who doesn't love boar and jerky?
I'm gonna go find a rabbit and name him George because he likes steaks. Because he really likes steaks.
Okay. Oh no! Oh, I see what you did there.
Okay. Moving on.
What's the next clip?
So then Caleb kind of crashes the party here because, again, we saw Caleb had a reservation because this is a dangerous job. And he said, they had the time to think it over, but apparently they never had that conversation because of the dinner party. Dylan's going there for the job, obviously, to raise money for Emma's operation, which she desperately needs. So Caleb's coming by saying, whoa, hold it, stop the trolley right now. We got to talk about this. You're not going on this trip, Dylan. And then this scene kind of breaks out. Chick Hogan kind of in the middle of them, really well framed, with him like the top of the truck, like loading stuff in. Before Caleb stops away, I have really another funny Chick Hoganism here.
Here's some of my bigger pieces up there. I'm not making this shit up. Yeah, no. Sold a piece last month for 3,600 Canadian. It's called Native Orphan. That's cool.
So again, Tika, I love just Dylan's reactions.
I'm so glad you had that in there because I was about to mention that. Yeah, that was the best reaction from Dylan.
Okay, so two things. So just one thing, just to preface it to that of just the idea that Chick Hogan's cover is that he's a guy who buys and sells paintings and probably paints himself. And he's an art lover. Just the idea Chick Hogan is an art lover. And he's a good art lover too. He sells paintings for a lot of money. He's an art dealer of some kind. And he's saying, no, I'm not making that up. Seriously, I like art. Actually, there's this one piece. It's hilarious. He's giving Chick Hogan so much dimension. Again, he's just when we first see this guy, it looks like a homeless guy under a bridge, but he has so much.
Exactly, yeah.
He has so much dimension. I love seeing Chick Hogan with the glasses on a string. Like the whole library glasses thing.
Right.
It makes him look so intelligent. Just all these walkinisms for Chick Hogan. All these little quirks make him all the more fleshed out and interesting, yet really bizarre. And it's Dylan having the most straightforward reaction to oh, it's cool. Because again, that's how you deal with a crazy person. You buy into whatever they're telling, whether you think it's off the walls or not.
Of course. Yeah.
That's why Norman didn't stab him last 2 episodes ago, because he just went along with it.
Like a young Bruce Wayne.
Of course. I mean, Dylan might as well just be undercover as Matches Malone this episode. That's a young Bruce Wayne reference. So. Okay, so then, as I said, after this, after the hilarious art gag, then Caleb comes to stomp on the party here. Then this happens.
Dylan, it's not gonna happen. He said he's gonna do it. Gotta do it. Dylan, Chick is the master of the undersell. But why are you talking about me in the third person? Just a minute. Just hang on. Look, you're delivering guns, okay? This is far from risk-free. Okay, what if this is a setup? I make this run every month. I was trying to give you guys an opportunity to make $25,000. If you don't want to do it, leave. If you do, got a schedule, get in the car. It's cold out. Let's go. I'm doing it.
So again, let me reiterate. There's the walk-in delivery of this guy. It's cold out. Here. Again, I just love the pause. This guy's brilliant playing Chick Hogan. He has the pause in the right place, just randomly saying, hey, it's cold out here. Either do
Right,
it or
exactly.
don't. It's cold out here. Basically, Chick owns the most passive guy saying, "Wait, I'll do it if I have to. You guys, you wanted the job or not?" He's just ticked off at him at this point.
Yeah, it's like there's really no intimidation factor behind it, but of course we know he's leading him into a trap that Admiral Akbar wouldn't be happy about. But we'll get into that.
So also something important that Hogan said at the beginning there was kind of praising Dylan for kind of addressing season 2, Dylan being kind of heading the Morgan drug family, saying, "Oh, I know you know what to do. You had the Morgan's drug family and everything. You know how not to act suspicious."
Mm-hmm.
So with that whole third person in the undersell line, we have kind of the Caleb and Dylan are kind of conferring, him like pointing out, "Well, you're wanted, Caleb. This is a bad idea." He says, "Well, no, I'm going with you, just to be sure." And then we have this line from Chick Hogan just reacting on Caleb saying, "Oh, I'm going with you."
All right, we're both going. Great. Father Son has gone running on a trip. There's a preset rendezvous time. So, address on the road. Just between you and me. Anything happens to him, we'll come back and I'll kill you. It's a little dramatic, but sure.
Sure.
Just again with Chico and the brilliance here. This is a guy who kind of breaks the fourth wall, just saying it's a little dramatic, but okay.
He is kind of a fourth wall breaking character in a way. Yeah.
This Chick Hogan is the villains are much better than we've had in the series. We've had some good villains now and again, but still these guys take the cake.
I'd say, yeah, actually the villains were kind of like a weak point of this series so far in terms of like, I mean, Shelby was okay.
Abernathy was cool.
Abernathy was cool. I just feel like he should have been around the whole season. I feel like he didn't get enough development for how much potential he had.
Of course.
And then Nick Ford was good, but we got over like he's literally formed a freaking verb at this point.
He seriously has. We even saw it in Age of Ultron.
We did, yeah.
A bad guy offered people candy. Seriously, that's a Nick Ford thing he could learn. Anyway, so getting back to the episode. So
and then I didn't like the Morgans at all. I thought they were weak.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of Zane being kind of this unstable guy Dylan had to deal with, but we're not going to get it.
I like the idea of it. I just thought it really dragged, and I thought it really I think the thing that they've been doing really well this season is part of the main action, which was what was really lacking last season.
Well,
I thought everything that went down last season was just kind of like a whole kind of.
Yeah, the important thing that season 2 kind of forgot is you have to keep Dylan tied into the family. So basically, you have him do whatever he's doing, just make sure he ties into the family. What they got going on.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways.
Okay, moving on. So let's see what do we got here. So again, the whole kill you's old dramatic thing. So then we have we see Finnegan just gets dropped off, and it's not just dropped off; it's like thrown out of the car. Poor Finnegan. And by the way, this is a really well-directed moment here. It was like well-edited moment, I should say. He's getting out of the car, and Norma's calling him. We just see an intercut of like Norma's, like him walking in the house and like Norma calling him and just saying, whatever you said to Norma, I need to know because it's some. I deserve to know what you and Norman talked about, and just while he's not hearing any of this because again he's just trying to get out of town as fast as he can while he's limping.
Yeah. Okay, so then we get Caleb and Dylan. Let's see. There's just some kind of talk about how Emma isn't his girlfriend, which I don't know how much. He mentioned that he mentions that that Norman is going out with her. At least he thinks he is.
If I may,
go ahead.
She's not my girlfriend. I just want to help her. She's seeing my brother. I think Norm. Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't like me. It's because of Norman. Never get past that. Yeah, well, nobody gets past that.
Yeah. A little bit there. So I love just kind of Caleb just saying Norman doesn't like me is kind of an understatement considering Norman tried to cut him up last time.
Yeah, right.
Tried to cut him up and rat him out. Those are the two interactions. Basically, he's had 3 unpleasant interactions with Norma. 1, he tried to stab him. 2, he tried to rat him out to Norma. 3, he glared at him like crazy when he was at dinner. It was a really uncomfortable dinner between those
And he
two.
was sitting right next to him.
Yeah, made sure he didn't sit next to Norma. He's giving him a glare, like kind of making it apparent to him that his toast sucked.
God, exactly.
So, yeah, just the tension's always been strong between us. So I just love kind of the sad line from Caleb, like, well, yeah, no one gets past that.
Yeah, of course. That's been the tragedy of this whole character.
Yeah,
then
it's
Caleb
kind of nice.
Notice. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nice to see the bonding between kind of Caleb and Dylan here. Of course, Caleb giving him some relationship. Again, just talking about relationships, considering how dysfunctional Caleb's relationships have been. It's kind of interesting. The whole Dylemma chat.
And then Caleb kind of notes that he's thinking about leaving town after the barn's completed. Yeah. Because he says that he just doesn't, it's too much to ask of Norma that he sticks around.
And he says he pushed things a little bit last time.
Which kind of leads me to believe that he might be on his way out, considering I don't necessarily think that he's going to be leaving town alive. I think he's going to suffer the fate of, of the resolved story arc. His story arc is coming to a close, so that means it's time for him to die.
Well, either that, or I think it ultimately might boil down to Dylan making a choice between his father or his brother.
That could be. Okay.
Okay, so then we have just kind of the pool is still, quote-unquote pool, is still under construction. The hole's being dug. It's a really deep hole. And then we have this adorable line from Norma kind of taking us into things.
This is awfully deep for a pool.
She's so adorably naive. And then she asked the guy again. There's actually kind of an interesting line from the guy who says, talk to. It's funny. I think he's somewhat giving her like a warning, saying, "Hey, basically, hey, talk to Paris. There's nothing I can do." I think he's just subtly signaling to her, "Get out of here, lady. This is like a mausoleum we're building here. Get out of here."
That's a good point. Yeah. He is kind of subtly just like, this might not be the best place for you to be.
Right. Okay, so then we have another adorable, fantastically adorable Norma moment. Basically, this is the Normero moment of the season, one of them. Just get ready to say, "Oh, folks, I'm serious."
Oh my God! My car! My car back! Thank you. How much do I owe you?
What's up with a big pit?
Bob Harris is building a pool, just like you said he would. You were there.
It's pretty deep. Where the plans?
I don't have them, but I have a call into Bob. The workers said that it's a pool and there are plans. Sure. I cannot believe he did this for me. He realized it is so nice. Why did you do it?
No, I just never thought of being sad about it. I could do something or fix it, whatever that means.
Okay, I'm gonna get the next one.
So we got Romero showing kind of a soft side to Norma, which is adorable. Again, Romero, he truly cares. His love, again, Mr. Carbonell, this guy, he gets it. This guy gets it. He plays it. He just plays it so like he's so bashful around her. It's like Romero's like the most put together, like most intimidating guy. Again, he's like the quote unquote, as the quote Zane Morgan, like the god of White Pine Bay, man with a god complex in White Pine Bay. So he's like unfallible. But then when he's around Norma, he just has this feeling of like, I feel different when I'm around her, and he doesn't know how to express these feelings. That just leads to this kind of like she's all open with her feelings, and he's just unsure of how to embrace these feelings. And when they get to that area, it's just like he just feels compelled to make her happy.
Yeah, exactly. Well put.
And it's moment. He just, as a door moves, like, well, I'm a cop, I'm observant. He doesn't know how to express himself. He's just saying, well, I couldn't stand the thought of you being sad.
I love the moment where she just bangs on the hood spontaneously.
So I gotta tell you, the kiss was adorable. It wasn't like a kiss, but it was like you were kissing on the cheek for a long time. It's adorable. Oh,
Yeah, it was.
There's your Normero moment. Oh my god, it's adorable. Oh, but just again, just the girlish glee she has of like, Alex, you got my car back. Oh my god, oh my god.
And of course, we're gonna really put a damper on things very soon. So what's going on the next scene?
Yeah. Basically, also it's something important to note just in terms of where things Romero might be going. Romero's got a bad feeling about this pit because again, he's obviously noticing that pit. This doesn't look like a pool. It looks like a giant hole. And I guess love throughout the conversation he's pointing at what's with the hole. Looks awfully deep. So Romero again, he has a bad feeling about this, but he doesn't want to damper her spirit, so he's not telling her about it intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so speaking of which, because he does have a bad feeling about this, he doesn't tell Norma, but he goes to Bob Paris to try to save her. So he's going to Paris, and he basically says, "Hey, listen, Bob, don't screw with her. Okay, what's with the whole, and listen, if you're telling screwing with her, I'm just telling you right now, don't." And just Paris is so gleeful in this scene, just saying, "Well, Alex, I have some information for you about that Bates Motel." This pretty much is boiling down to, you don't know her. She's really kinky. She went around, and she basically, because of Bob's goon was trailing her that whole episode 6, and he was following her around in her downward spiral, saying, she's going around, she's wearing these dresses, she's getting random cars with guys. Oh, Romero's shaken by it, but he has such a good poker face. He's just like saying, well, her personal life is none of my concern.
Yeah, you're right. He has a great poker face. It's great acting because you can tell he is shaken by it.
Yeah, but then it kind of gets to this point of then he drops the big bomb on him. Basically, it's not so much the personal life. He can sort through that later, how he feels about her, but this is the important one, the fact that the big thing that kind of changed Romero's character, at least kind of moved Romero's character forward of being he has to be on the up and up about what happens. He can't let anything escape his purview. Of when the whole Blair Watson thing happened, he kind of has this thrown in his face, so like some doubt.
Who's B?
Who's B? Oh, we got this happening. This is kind of big drama.
You want to know what she told the therapist that she's been sleeping with? That her son Norman killed his father. Apparently he blacks out and gets violent, and she lied and said it was an accident. She's using you to protect herself and her family. But what does any of us have to do with you, Bob? I'm just trying to protect the town that we both grew up in. I need an ally. I want you back on my team. Yeah. I'm interested. Known you a long time, Alex. I can read your face. You think about it, get back to me.
So pretty much Ultron in a suit, pretty much. I'm kidding. But no, in all seriousness,
No, I love how formal he is with it kind of reminds me of that one scene early in the season where he's like Alex, I run this ring and it's a proud part of our town's heritage. So why you gotta hate, man?
Exactly. Again, Paris is such an entertainment. We could go on for hours. Well, we go on for an hour about Paris, but seriously, this scene was really great. First of all, I just love the implication that it's like for the people that have seen season 2, it just kind of puts a lot of perspective on them. Just thinking that Romero, had a lot of doubt about his own abilities towards the end of the season. They're just kind of realizing with this whole Norman Bates might be involved in murder Blair Watson. That's the reason he was kind of a little shaken by the fact that Norman Bates was involved, because he kind of relates to Norman on some level, because they both have kind of had rough upbringings.
Yeah, you brought that up several times. Yeah.
Yes, and with that here, it's like Norman Bates has been kind of his blind spot, and at the end he thought it was all cleared up with the fact he passed the lie detector test. Now he's finding out that two things: one, that Norma from the beginning has been technically, she has been manipulating. So Paris isn't entirely wrong here. Before Norma got to know Romero, she was more than willing to manipulate him, which comes in play later on in this episode. Like the fact, right from the minute they met, she was lying to Romero. That's her whole shtick at the beginning of her first season. Whatever I can do so this guy doesn't burn us to the ground. And, of course, the other thing being Norman is capable of violent acts, and apparently he blacks out to do these violent acts, so So basically,
in terms of the bee situation.
yes, maybe he actually did do the bee thing, and maybe he got out of lie detector just because he might have hallucinated or something. Might have been out of it, so maybe a different side of him did it. So again, Romero might be putting pieces together, which could be very dangerous for our beloved Bates family.
Oh yeah.
So again, really a lot of heavy stuff here. And I love how Romero just is not showing any faltering. He leaves. I can see it on your face, Alex. Again, Paris knows Romero so well. You can tell. I can see through your little poker face, Alex. I know you're thinking stuff right now. So you go think about it. Come back to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, bring some vibranium. So
okay, so next scene we have Norma. She delivers a classic Norman.
No, not take. It's a little. This later.
What? Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
No. When she's yelling at him to get fencing.
Oh, sorry, I didn't. Oh, yeah, I didn't. You sorry, yeah, you're right.
She just kind of give out a little Norman.
Okay.
She's like, Norman, we need fencing.
Now you're right, T. I'm sorry. I forgot that one. so basically, yeah, she does love the mundanity of Norman having to get fencing for this boy. Is pointing out, well, someone's gonna get hurt falling down this, and what if a kid or something falls down this, or a motel guest or a kid or Emma or somebody falls down with it. And, you get the fence up, and I pray to, seriously, don't get too close to that thing. I don't want you falling in. Probably.
For the love of God, Norman, don't fall in.
Yeah. Probably.
You're already in the box last season. Come on.
Exactly. Sorry, I'm thinking of the second awesome Norman.
Okay.
So while Norman's getting fencing, we have Dylan and Caleb at a gas station, I believe, and he's getting a little call from his hopeful gal pal Emma.
Hello, Emma. I love how he kind of has a British accent when he says that.
Yeah. So again, I want to emphasize this for the whole Dylemma thing. So Dylan, as he said earlier on, he might have feelings for Emma because again he's pleasant to Emma. They have like a good friendship going on, most definitely. I'm thinking Dylan might have affection for Emma, but he's not acknowledging it yet because he's a man of young Bruce Wayne-ish principles. My brother's with this girl, and also I don't want to get on my brother's bad side. To be playing things smart and logical there. And he's figuring, well, no, I'm not looking at her as a girlfriend or anything. However, she is. She sees Dylan. She's really heavily attracted to Dylan. She's feeling the Dylan here.
Yeah, we'll get into that with her blog and after we talk about next scene.
Exactly. It's the point. Like she wants Dylemma big time. She wants it big time. She's thinking about ending things with Norman right now. That's what we've been getting in the blogs up to this point. So
sure.
Saying why? Oh, I'm glad we're on a formal first name basis. So they are adorable together. Like on the phone here, it's kind of their banter. They have really good banter going on here.
They do. It almost kind of reminds me of, like, dare I say, an Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone kind of banter.
It's one Emma to another. You want to take us through some of this banter?
Yeah. Well, Dylan, he's like, oh, so are you cured? Are you cured? Are you cured? Are you cured? And then Emma's just like, oh yeah, totally. No more CF.
Again, it's funny. They're building a relationship off some dark humor.
They are. Yeah. And then Dylan kind of pokes fun. She mentions like, well, at least I'm in the office for a few hours. And then, Dylan, he's like, oh, yeah, because I bet nothing's more fun than working in that office.
Again, it's fine. They are kind of two of the most cynical characters in the show when you think about it. At least Dylan started off that way.
Oh, Dylan definitely started off.
I'm saying, like, Dylan started off the cynical guy. He's got a bit of that there. He's kept it in check most definitely throughout the season, but he's always been kind of the voice of reason, kind of pointing out the silliness in people. And Emma's always been kind of like, she has that dark, cynical side to her, realizing, well, I'm going to be dead. So, I mean, we got a lot of death at the expense of my death jokes coming from Emma. So then also, Dylan is trying not to tell her about like he's doing this for her, so he's saying, "Oh, I'm just going to get some extra money for the farm, build a barn." And I love this. She kind of throws it back in his face, that thing they kind of bonded over. So I guess this is the writer's subtle way of communicating to us that they might have a relationship on the horizon way back when she says, "And that's a really beautiful little spot of land you got there."
I love that. Yeah, that's a really nice moment.
And remember, if you need me, I'll be unavailable. So just.
So okay, great. I'll be sure not to have an emergency when you're gone.
Now, to me, I think that's foreshadowing. So I'm thinking.
I agree. That kind of raised a red flag.
So that makes me think we're going to get a fling with Nema that will lead to her demise, and Dylan.
Oh no! Well, actually, I kind of disagree with that because next episode we see kind of Norman and Intimate.
Right. Well, yeah, we'll get to that speculation.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
And then we get a quick shot of Caleb handling a gun.
Yeah, he's stashing a gun in like the side of the truck for just in case. So Caleb's thinking a few steps ahead there. Clever Caleb, because again, he's really worried about this dangerous trip.
Yeah, and he has every right to be. We see that his worries definitely pay off.
Yep. Meanwhile, we got Norman putting up the fence, and I love the wire gag. It's good to see Freddie Homer do some physical comedy. He's like messing with the wire. Now this is funny, dude. Think about this on this level. That Norman is kind of channeling his mother here. It turns out clumsy and klutzy she can be.
Oh, he is. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Like the wires getting tangled a little bit, and to the layman, you might think he might be
increasingly frustrated.
Yes, he might be falling down that hole too. It's a big kind of teeter-totter there. Like, oh no, someone might be falling down that hole. Anyway, so while he's doing that, while he's finishing up, and again, I love that this is pointed out in the blog, that Emma probably should have picked a better location to talk to him here.
Yeah, she kind of just walks up, and you're right. It's not the best timing.
Anyway, so she walks up and she says, so basically, we're looking at the pit here. So basically, she's kind of breaking things off here. You're kind of breaking the relationship off, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And you feel bad you do feel bad for Norman here because she's making some legitimate points here. By the way, me personally, I think she should have gave a little more time because we still haven't seen that. I say that because we haven't seen that conversation between him since he's blacked out. That makes me think it's kind of she saw him and she ran, but she justifies it though.
Good point. Yeah, it was kind of a little because we did see in that blog. She's like, "What am I gonna say to him?"
Yeah, exactly. We haven't really gotten the aftermath of that. I mean, now I guess this is kind of it, but I think it's still kind of abrupt, just saying, I'm breaking up with you at this point. It feels like she hasn't given him exactly a chance, but then again, she's given him several chances before. So it's a mixed bag.
I mean, honestly, I'm kind of surprised. Like, I feel like she almost could have broken it off with him after the whole incident in the cabin.
Well, yeah, exactly. Again, I gotta give her some points for resolve on that one, that she was still sticking out with him after that point. So, I mean, that makes me think like this whole bill, he had a legitimate excuse this time, and then she's just got to break it off afterwards. But we'll see how it plays out. But the point, just to give her some points here, she is laying out some good reasoning here, saying that well, first of all, before they kind of get in the whole breakup talk, I love how Norman's saying that he's sorry he hasn't been around lately because all the stuff going on. He hasn't been around for her. So again, Norman's putting a genuine effort in there. Then she says, "Let's talk." So again, it feels kind of sad. So like he says, "Look, I'm sorry. I was thinking."
Yeah, it's a pretty realistic breakup scene because the guy just does not see it coming, and it's something that the girl has been kind of like stewing over in her head for the past few days.
Yeah, so Emma has basically in this scene, she says, it just feels like when we're together, we're just trying to force. I mean, we're friends, but it feels like we're trying to force something else. Like whenever we're together, it's like you're wrapped up in. Basically, it's like something else. Essentially, it's Norma's on his mind. So again, this is also something that's pushing him over the breaking point for the later on.
Oh God, yes. Oh yeah.
Basically, it feels like you're with someone else, even when you're with me. But I love how she emphasized the point.
We saw that in the first episode of the season when Annika walks into the office and asks for directions, and Norman's just kind of all fixated with her.
Oh yeah. But still, I love how Emma is still like it's always been kind of steadfast, and even in the show and also the blog of like look, I still love Norman, like because he's still my dearest friend, but maybe we're not destined to be romantic, but still he is my friend. And she says like a line like I will always love you in a way, basically because I'll always be here with you.
Yeah.
Which is nice. And again, I just felt so bad for Norman though, just him like walking off because he had really no responses. I'm gonna go back to the office because he's really his heart's been broken there.
He doesn't go back to the office. He goes back up to the house.
Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. The house.
Yeah.
So he goes back to the house. And it gets a little worse.
Yeah.
He doesn't just go away just to kind of mull over things, but he goes away to blackout.
He does.
So basically, he goes into the rocking chair, which of course is a very iconic rocking chair.
True.
He's in his room and he's going back and forth in there. Then I love that. I love how we're visually just making each blackout this season visually distinguishable. Because he blacks out in this scene, and the room goes dark. It's broad daylight, then it just turns into this. The room goes really dark, and then Juno Juno comes in. Of course, we know when Juno's there.
I love how Juno is like kind of like sort of a symbol of Norman's blackouts now.
I love that because the idea of the taxidermy comes to life in his blackouts is really creepy.
Yeah, it is. It is.
No, so basically, then then this little moment happened just to make us shake a little.
The world's a lonely place sometimes, isn't it, Juno?
It's like a Sunday strip of Bates Motel. He walks in there.
I know it is. It is.
Room gets dark and then the dog walks in. And he says, "It's lonely sometimes, isn't it, Juno?"
Okay, now here are those events from Emma's perspective.
Yeah, so what happened?
The title of the blog is "I Had to Do It," and then the blog starts with "Officially." Norman was struggling to build a fence, so maybe it wasn't the best time to end things with him. But I wanted to talk to him before Dylan came back into town. At least he didn't push me into that pit. Oh, God. He took it pretty well, but who knows with him? Yeah, that's very astute. That's very astute, Emma. I thought I knew him pretty well, but after the other night, I'm not sure I have the faintest idea what's going on in his head. Again, also very astute. I'm sure he thinks I'm ending things just because of how he acted the other night, but it's not only that. It's that he's distant and odd with me. Our interactions always felt forced and unnatural, like whatever was happening, like unlike whatever is happening with Dylan. Norman seems a little upset, but he'll be okay. You don't break up with someone unless it's already broken. I read that somewhere. I mean, Dylan called to check up on me, to see how I was feeling. He didn't want to worry me while I was gone. I think Norman means well, but I can't remember a moment with him where it wasn't all about him and his feelings and his mother and his feelings about his mother. I understand that all of that is important, but I want things too. I want to feel connected to someone, and I want someone to care about my feelings. And then I'll kind of mention the Gunner thing when we get to Gunner later on.
Sure. Now there is a chance there's a time lapse in there, but I think stylistically it's much cooler if it's a blackout that turns the room dark. But like obviously Juno is our indicator that blackout has occurred.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess in terms of blackout mode, he is. I'm trying to think what the stages are because he's hallucinating big time. That should be stage 1. We don't know if he's zombified, so he must just be in stage 1 right now.
Sure.
So as far as we know, he's in stage 1 in this scene. That chalks up to another one once we get to that.
Okay.
So the other thing, just the implication, the really cool implication of this scene is that after kind of his fixation with his mother at this point, things have been really raging in his mind since Finnegan brought it up to him. Is that it's cost him his relationship with Emma, which he did truly kind of value. It's on some level, but then it's just kind of he's realizing this is truly a problem. I'm losing my relationships here because I'm fixated. My mother is sick. It is wrong. I have to do something about it, which is going to bring us to our scene later on. It's just really eating away at him.
Yeah, it's a really good dilemma.
To the point.
Dilemma.
And again, well, Dylemma is his dilemma, technically.
Yeah. Again, very good name for a shipping couple.
So yeah. So then we have
Blue Jay, that might hope is still alive for Chikaro.
I don't know. I got like a grain of hope for Norma.
Oh God. Okay.
So then we got Normero and Norma have a little scene here, and it goes a little something like this. Wait a second. So it goes a little something like this, but I should say that it's when Romero's walking up to the door here, I couldn't help but remember this because she's given Romero's drunken state last episode. I couldn't help but just think of this for a moment.
Hi, how's it going?
We'll just think of that for a moment, It's hilarious. But anyways, then we have the scene goes a little something like this.
Hi, Alex. I'm just heating up some lip service. You want to come in? What?
You remember the first time I talked to you on the porch? Kind of funny because you were standing right over there and you were lying to me.
What are you talking about? You want to come in? Did you talk to Bob Harris?
You know, I can only imagine another. Well, you know, we need in this scene, Tiki. You know, we could just use in this scene. You know, I guess both of these parties could use in this scene.
I could take a guess.
Some words of wisdom from Chick Hogan. You know, just some.
Oh, that's not what I thought you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say free hugs.
Well, actually, you know, they could probably also use some free hugs.
Probably. But yes, also boar jerky. We could all use some boar jerky.
You can only imagine that outside party would be saying you want some boar jerky. So yeah, big scene though. So again, I just love. So again, Mr. Garbanella in this scene, really great. Just pointing out that you know he feels so conflicted here because again he's developed really true feelings for Norma. You know, the whole Normero thing's been full ablaze here.
How dare Bob Paris ruin Normero? How dare he?
And I like how even in this state, like Romero, he's not looking into the Norman connections here because he still has that respect for her, but he's still just he's trying to distance himself from her here. His love of the acting here is Romero walks up to her. He has a hesitation before he knocks because he's just so hurt by this knowledge and he just doesn't want it to be true. He knocks on it. His love, he's just begging her so genuinely, saying, "Look, I know your go-to option is going to be to lie to me here, but I'm begging you." Basically saying, "I'm asking you not to. Just don't lie for change. Don't lie to me."
Mm-hmm.
And then it just goes forward, and obviously she can't because at the end of the day, she will always value Norman more than Romero. It doesn't matter what situation, she will always do that. And you know, her main priority is no matter what, she's protecting Norman. So that's why she's not telling Romero the truth here. Obviously, he's the one guy she should probably confide in with this, but you know, she never would.
Dare I say this scene almost kind of reminded me of that scene in Gotham between Penguin and Mrs. Couplepoot.
Oh yeah, a bit of that. And yeah, kind of similar way because the other one definitely knows the truth, so they're just really hurt by the fact that they're lying.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
Anyway, so then you know, just you feel so bad for Romero. Yeah, Romero, he needs some free hugs. We already saw we're good. You know, Romero he needs free. You know, he just needs those free hugs because he was just so crushed. And I heard the sad Hulk music as he was walking away. Alex, Alex, and again, you feel bad for both parties because Norma, she just lost the second most important man in her life.
Well, what about Dylan? I'd say maybe third most important.
Good point.
Just saying.
I forgot about that. I forgot. Okay, so anyways, a really powerful scene there. Again, a huge pillar in the Normero chain here.
Of course.
And also, by the way, the most powerful part of that whole thing is just when Romero's just saying goodbye. Just say goodbye, Norma.
Yeah.
Oh God. Anyways, then we got one of the hugest scenes of the season.
I'd argue this might be one of the best scenes of the whole series.
Yes, I think this just epitomizes the series in one scene because it has the deep emotional connection here. It has a bit of that dark romance, but it also has a lot of that just kind of like it's so sweet yet so dementedly twisted.
So basically, if you could sum up Bates Motel in like a 3-minute short film, it would be this.
Yes, this is exactly what I would show people to explain how Bates Motel is going to make you feel watching it. So let's just play a little bit. Let's just play a few sections of that here. So here's how it all starts. He's walking into the room. Norma, again, this is the setup for this is also great that Romero scene, isn't it? Norma's in a bad place. She's just sad about because I'm so sad.
She's so sad
about Romero. You know, she's in bed alone. I love again the directing and the staging for this is fantastic. You got both rooms in view, which is a great framing device, by the way. You got Norman's room, and he's just walking by, and they're both just there in the dark, and she has like the lights off right now. She's walking by, going in the room, and by the way, Highmore's channeling Full Perkins in this scene. Oh my God, it is a thing of beauty. He's walking in there, he's sitting on the bed, and it goes a little something like this.
Turn the light on. I have something to tell you, but I'd rather tell you in the dark.
What is it?
Norman is kind of channeling this feeling we've seen before.
What's wrong with me?
So again, he's going Full Perkins.
Yeah.
Then the scene continues to go on something like this.
You're afraid of me? make you afraid of me because it's made me afraid of myself.
Tell me, Norma.
He thinks that I'm attracted to him sexually. I got so mad when he said it, I wanted to kill him. And then the more I thought about it, I mean, I love you so much, and I am so close to you. I just think that
Norman, stop it right now. You are not attracted to me.
Don't look at me.
Norman, listen to me. It is completely normal. You're developing sexually. You're just confused. It's silly. Honey, we're just people. We're on some level like animals, instinctual. You're a man, I'm a woman, so maybe you notice my breasts once in a while. It's a big deal. It's really normal. It doesn't mean you're weird.
Doesn't.
No. No. What makes us not animals is that we make choices. You can't help what you think, what your impulses are. We all have crazy ones. I do. I guarantee you, people dream of us sleeping with their parents, their teachers, their dogs. It's just how we're wired. Sex is confusing.
So yeah.
You need to say that is stupid. It is stupid. It's stupid. I should have never let that pseudo doctor talk to you. It's so much therapy. Listen to me. I don't ever want you to second guess anything about me. We are solid. We love each other. You are my whole world. You are my whole world. You always have been. Look at me, damn it! Come on! Never let anyone's words come between us. They're meaningless. This is the only thing that's real. And you and me.
Move over, you silly woman.
Yeah, it's a little something like this.
Because I'm so sad.
And you know, I think just kind of this sum up kind of the sentiment of this scene. I think this clip just kind of sums it up too.
Well, a boy's best friend is his mother.
You know, something a little like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, she just needs to have the word denial written on her forehead. And
I mean, this is
Charlie
like
point.
this is like a much more likable version of Padme denial.
Oh dear. Oh God. Right.
I'm saying. Now look, this is kind of kidding mode here. I'm just saying it's basically like just saying like I'm a senator, Anakin. I'm a senator. That sort of thing going on.
Okay, so a couple of things that Norma considers completely normal. She says it's completely normal that, you know, that a guy just looks at his mother's breast and just gets sexually charged every once in a while. You know, that's fine. That's fine. It's all good. She says that, you know, people dream about having sex with their parents all the time. That's fine. You know?
Well, look, she's not saying all that. He's like saying at times. She's not saying all. It's like a common occurrence. It's not like every time. It's fine if you keep doing this.
I mean, to her credit, I do like that, like, she does do a good job of calming him down, which I do think is kind of like her intention in the moment. I mean, what do you think? How much of this is denial and how much of this is like in the back of her head? She's like, oh shit.
Well, to be honest with
And
you,
she's just kind of like trying to calm down the situation at the time.
to be honest with you, I'm more like on its kind of its face value. I think as soon she'll be mulling it truly. I think she'll be mulling it over truly. Like next episode, I think is when she's really gonna be mulling this stuff over. But I think for the most part here, like I'm saying, like 90% of this is genuine. Like she actually is just in denial about a lot of this.
Sure.
However, again, when I say denial, though, I'm saying I think it's just her. Again, remember, I think I've been kind of hammering in with Norma Bates' character and their dynamic here is that it's just so kind of dark and twisted. How, Norman is the way he is because he's just been kind of in this cone of love with her because he just, he's just been. He hasn't experienced he hasn't seen other women aside from his mother, pretty much. As far as we can tell, he's always she's been the only woman singularly in his life. So it makes sense. That's why he is. He's going through sexual development here because of her.
Sure.
It makes sense because he has no other women. It makes sense that he would going through these feelings, but unfortunately, it's been kind of regressed to only his mother because he hasn't really seen any other women until too late in his life with like girls like Emma and Bradley and all these girls. He's still kind of just always kind of stuck next to his mother there, and that's why. He's going through these things. It's kind of dark. And just because of that, there's really, again, the last episode really cemented it in there. It just kind of dawned on me last episode that yeah, it really is a dark romance, and that these two can never be together, but they are truly, when they have these, again, they have this line in there that's really stuck in me. It's a really beautiful line. It's him saying, you know, I love you so much. And again, it's so, again, these two, this again, to me, this so far is the best season, the best episode, sorry, best moment, one of the best moments of the entire season, where the best series in the series and the season, where it's just the laying all the cards of the series on the table here, of like, you know, I love you so much. And again, Heimer's acting was phenomenal here. He had in the dark. First of all, the whole.
I love how he starts the scene and he's kind of like the Phantom of the Opera. You know, he's like, "Don't look at me."
Which, by the way, it just reminds me so much of Psycho. Again, he sounds exactly like Perkins, but also kind of reminded me of. I know you haven't seen it, but again, it's actually the only one that kind of shaped this series in any way. It's kind of like the Bates Motel the Psycho 4.
Brad Jones actually mentioned that the other day in one of his reviews, that he said it was really underrated, so I need to check it out.
Yeah, seriously, Psycho 4 has some good moments of like about how she really truly kind of screwed him up, and how there's like this demented kind of affection.
Perkins is in that, right?
He is, but there's a lot of like a young guy playing Norman too in the flashbacks.
Oh, okay. So Perkins is kind of like a plot device in a way, a framing device.
Like he is like the narrator / framing device. So he is delivering.
Okay, I see.
The point is, like, kind of you see how like she really got bad years later on. How she would like switch from like the mother version we see in this series, then the sweet Norma, then mother. She goes back and forth like that in the movie. The point is, basically Norman, we get kind of these screwed up moments with Norman here, of like the whole, like, you know, turn the lights out. He sounds exactly like Perkins in these moments of just saying, you know, don't look at me. He's like so wrapped up in the emotion here and just how compelled he is, and it's really fantastic. I could feel how he was feeling. I know it sounds really stupid, but I'm serious. I can feel, I saw the tear rolling down his eye. I could just feel the emotion coming off this kid.
Yeah, I hear you.
I know, it's really some beautiful stuff. Just the acting there again. For me, she was just so compassionate to Norman in the scene. Just not for a moment you doubt that she was put off by what he was saying here. Just like she was like, "Oh no, look, you're talking crazy. This is a normal thing. Your development. Look, I know I screw up your development. I know that, but look, it's normal because of that, and we are connected together. Everything will be fine." Mm-hmm. And of course, again, the dark humanity thing I've gone on ages. Or the last episode, just these two are they are eternally linked together, and it is a beautiful thing. But again, it's just kind of this. It is a true love than you've ever seen, but a love that can never truly blossom. It's really dark.
Yeah, it's kind of like the big tragedy of the whole show, like you said.
Yeah, and let me tell you,
almost kind of like the thesis statement of the show.
And again, just to show you how good this really is the selling point of the series, because as really moving and really interesting as the scene is with all the true emotion and everything, there you have these funny moments too, of like one, like just the breast mention, but they check out my breast. And again, we saw early in the episode he was checking out her rear end too. So I mean, he is actually
yeah.
But also, like, then she's bringing like the whole thing, like, you know, the dogs, and that's pretty funny. But of course, here's the funniest thing: I was just rolling on the floor laughing, despite the truly emotional heart of this scene. Just the thing just had me. The Highmore again stole the episode for me here. Just when he. The best delivery, the most hilarious delivery of this entire series is him turning into practically a little kid / his mother when he says, "Mother!" I was rolling on the floor laughing when he did that, because again, it was just the exuberance and the childlike glee at which he said that while they're in this really kind of close and creepy embrace. The bed.
Yeah.
Again, it just shows you it's all that compelling emotion, but then we have the creepy realization of, oh yeah, this is really getting uncomfortable. Again, of just him going, "Mother," it feels so. Again, the delivery it's so out of place, yet it works so well. I don't know what it is. Again, just these fantastic series, but we dedicate so many episodes talking about that. Meanwhile,
okay, so Emma, she's at Dylan's cabin. Only thing that would have made this better if she was delivering cupcakes instead of brownies.
So again, let's say something about this kid right here. It's the kind of role model. Remember Cupcake Boy, and for those who may not know, Gunner.
Stupid one.
Which is why we stick to Cupcake Boy, but anyway.
That is one of my favorite Romero lines ever.
It's a stupid one. It's a fourth wall gag. It has to be. So thank you for the scene, Tig. What's going on?
So she's walking up to the cabin. Gunner walks out of the cabin, and he's like, "Oh, hey, Emma," and he's kind of just trying to kind of being a little skeezy, kind of trying to get with her a little bit, like, oh, I've been meaning to call you. I got caught up, and then Emma, she's very much kind of like, look, I've had a rough couple days. My health is in really poor shape, so I can't be thinking about being romantic with anyone right now. And of course, we know that's not really true, because as she's saying that, she's writing a note for Dylan. And it's funny because I was kind of initially speculating that note was kind of like bad news in terms of her health, but I think you're right. I think it's more sort of like almost kind of like a, do you love me? Yes, no. You know what I mean?
Yes. However, I still think she might be on the side with the whole, like, her health not being in best of shape. I just think she doesn't mean, like, physical romance. I don't know.
That's true, yeah.
Which, again, makes me speculate that she might have a role in the A with Norman that's going to end up with her being gone.
Of course, I love the little exchange with, she's like, oh, I bought brownies, but don't get excited. There's no pot in them.
Actually, I think they're cookies.
Oh, are they? Oh, okay.
No, I think she, like, in her blog, she mentioned she made cookies.
Well, I mean, brownies would be the traditional thing.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Make.
I know.
Put pot in.
I think the gag is they look like brownies, even though they're supposed to be cookies, and it's just showing you she may not be the best of them.
I'm looking at the blog right now. I don't see any mention
sure?
of what she. Yeah, I don't see any.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, you're right. She says, I hope Dylan likes the cookies. Okay, yeah, you're right.
I think maybe the visual gag is that her cookies look like brownies. Maybe she's not the best of cooks.
Fair enough.
There's the visual gag that she means cookies. And, it's not unheard of making the stuff in the cookies. I understand, but I could be wrong.
And Gunnar does have a genuinely sweet moment when he finds out about, her being in bad health. He kind of drops the whole, kind of playboy facade. He's like, oh, well, gee, I'm really sorry if there's anything you need for me to help. And, she gives him a big hug. She genuinely appreciates that.
Yeah, he's not much of a playboy as, I don't know, a young Bruce Wayne, perhaps, Dylan.
He gets all the girls.
He does. Seriously, he does.
Okay, so just to round out Emma's blog on the subject, seeing Gunnar was a throwback. He is kind of hot. He said something about having meant to call me or something, but whatever. Been there, done that, I guess. That's 2 letdowns in as many days. Emma the Heartbreaker, LOL. I hope Dylan likes the cookies. He's such a special person. Until next time. Okay, so speaking of Dylan, what's going on with Dylan and Caleb?
No, we got some cool adventure stuff going on with Caleb and Dylan right now.
Like I said, Admiral Akbar's like, it's a trap radar would be going off the meter right now.
So basically, we got Dylan and Caleb at the drop-off point that Chick Hogan has prepped them for. They go there again, Dylan pointing out the whole warrant thing. You got a warrant. You sure you should be doing this? Oh, yeah, look, it's fine. The last chance to get at this thing. He says, no, we're doing this. So basically, we then get a call from basically we hear like the last guy who did the shipment is getting a little jumpy, and sorry, let me rephrase it. We find out what happened with the warrant thing. So basically, Caleb was making a shipment with some guy, and the guy who was the driver in the shipment, he freaked out, and Caleb beat the crap out of him. That's why there's a warrant on his head. Okay.
Yeah, so that's one mystery solved.
Okay, and also, so then we get I love this little phone booth misdirect. So they're waiting for basically a call at a phone booth.
It is, yeah,
answers the phone, we kind of get smart style. We find out there's a hidden phone in the booth. And basically, it's a cell phone taped to the side with like a ringtone. Sounds like a payphone. You answer it.
Yeah, I love that touch of the ringtone.
Really clever. I really did like that. It sets up kind of this ominous tone of like, oh boy, they're in there. It's a setup of some kind. So then we have like the guy on the other side of the phone's like calling. I guess it's Pierre saying, "Hey, where's Chick? Where's Chick Hogan? He's supposed to be here." He says, "Well, look, we're just making the shipment. Do you want this stuff or not?" Yeah, sure, get over here. So they head to. So basically, they head to a drop-off point. Okay, so then, so basically, there's kind of this skepticism of there's a skepticism here. But basically,
yeah, of course. I mean, like I said, I mean, at this point, I was like, oh God, no, this is not good.
Yeah, so basically, they're on their way, like they're told, like to back the stuff up somewhere, and then pretty much, then the guys come out with guns at the ready, pretty much saying, "Okay, get out of the truck," and basically, tell them to turn around, hands on your knees, look at the truck, which of course, thanks to Caleb's little plan, there's going to pay off big time. But then, pretty much the double cross happens here. They mentioned that they're really instantly we just think is like off to a bad start because they're skeptical of Chick Hogan not being there. Says, what's he trying to pull, that sort of thing. He says, well, look, we don't know what's going on. We have the shipment if you want it. So do you want it or not? So yeah, sure, but we're not paying for it. Like, you're getting no cash for Chick Hogan. We intended to kill him.
In that moment, we're just like, oh god, it's not good. No cash for Emma.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, and then just this is great setup too. Of just them explaining, no, Chick Hogan, that guy sucks. Now everyone he's done business with goes to prison. Yeah, we planned to kill him, and of course, I wonder. You think it was actually Chick Hogan's kid's birthday? You think he was lying about it?
I would like to think it was. Again, in my heart of hearts, I would like to think it was actually. In my heart of hearts, I would like to think that everything that Chick Hogan says is 100% genuine.
Happy birthday to.
You know what your birthday present is, kiddo? Guess what his birthday present is.
Boar jerky.
A year's supply of boar jerky.
Well, a year's supply. He's very magnanimous, that Chick Hogan. So anyway, then we have a really tense moment. Again, I love the intensity of this moment because thankfully we had that great kind of Alfred Hitchcockian setup of the gun is under the side of the truck that Caleb and Dylan are. We have actually a Breaking Bad moment here, and the dust is the jar was kind of gathering some dust.
I almost thought we go through a whole episode without mentioning Breaking Bad.
We got like a whole Gus Fring and his partner moment here of like basically looking at each other directly in the eyes and saying you're going to send a message to Chick Hogan. You're going to be the one he's talking to, telling Caleb he's going to be the one to go back with the message because he gun pointed Dylan's head, made me really scared for a moment. No.
I thought for a second that Dylan was done. Yeah.
So I just had memories of Breaking Bad with when literally Gus Fring was in this exact same position. It's like, no. And then again, it's really I gotta tell you, it's really intimidating to see a gun put to Dylan's head like that. And then thankfully Caleb being father of the year right now, he just kills the guy. A lot of death, a lot of shootouts happening here, and father and son kicking butt, taking names, shooting bullets.
Hell yeah.
They make an awesome getaway, similar to that of a young Bruce Wayne.
Oh dear.
I'm saying all the action in general is kind of that of a.
No, you're right.
Anyway, so they make it out of their skin, out of their teeth. 4 people die, including Pierre. They get away there. Of course, they fail at their mission, kind of an Empire Strikes Back kind of failure of that sort of variety. So they're up a creek. They're up a creek without a paddle. Emma has no money for her operation. She's in trouble.
Yeah, she is.
Meanwhile, I got a big old looming thing right here. Romero's in his car. He's being all stoic. He could smile a little more, but he's in his car. He's stoic, and he's calling the DA.
Don't be so stoic.
So Romero's just sitting in there. He's kind of the really good shot here. He's holding the flash drive, and then he calls the DA. So that means he's turning over all the names to the DA, which means he has it in his possession. He is not giving it to Bob Paris, and I'm sure he's not going to be happy about that.
Oh yeah.
Meanwhile, we got a little scene with our old favorite professor, James Finnegan, kind of his last scene in the episode.
I'm assuming it's his last scene in the series.
I would also think that unless we have an unnecessary death, but let's not put anything beyond these guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we had this little bit playing. So Norma's trying to have some words with Finnegan after she had a really big old heart-to-heart with Norman, finding out how Finnegan screwed her up. So obviously she's not happy about it. She wants to have some words with him. Good stuff there with Norma. But then she scurries around the car, sees he's getting ready to leave town, sunglasses on and everything, which I love, by the way. He's driving away, and she scurries in front of the car. Like, James, talk to me! And then we have this moment play.
This is like the 4th time she's rushed in front of a moving car.
I love it every time she does. She's done it more than 4 times. I love it every time she does it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, what's happening?
I can't talk, Norman. Just go away.
Talk to me. What is going on?
I got the shit kicked out of me. I almost got killed by men who wanted information about you.
What did you tell them?
I told them everything.
Not about Norman. Tell me you didn't say anything about Norman. You said that I could tell you anything and it would be safe.
Sorry, Norma. Look, I gotta get out of here. I'm leaving this town. I'm never coming back. You should get out of this town yourself. But Norma, don't ever, ever contact me again.
It's kind of sad, you know. Again, the relationship.
So I'd say it's fair to say these two never officially hook up.
Well, I mean, not again. I mean, they have hooked up before, but not. I don't think it's going to be a
No, I mean as an item.
Oh, no. And it's kind of a shame because they had good chemistry like this. Just kind of a little remembrance for our kind of series departed friend of James Finnegan.
You look hungry.
There's a little remembrance there of our old good pal, Mr. Finnegan.
Oh yeah.
So that,
Okay, so
this information that now Bob Harris knows the big secret, the big Norman threatening secret. Norma, very panicked, comes home to a classic sound we all love to hear. So she frantically, as we love with Norman Bates, she scurries down places. She scurries downstairs to Norman, who's working in a shop. And I love how they move in their relationship right now. It's like to a point where he's not being peeved at her at the moment, and it's just this moment of like, oh, what is it, mother? Like, well, what's the problem, mother? Tell me. You know,
he says like, oh, what did you do now, mother? Almost kind of in like almost a tiny bit of a joking way, if I got his performance right.
It's like a sitcom, you know. It's like, oh, what's happening this time, mother? Oh, mother, what shenanigans are we getting on this time? So anyway, so Norma's coming down. She's frantic. You know, I didn't record all of this, but like she has some really funny dialogue. She's mentioning, I just vomited up some information one night to James Finnegan, and now we're in trouble. It's pretty much like I told him something. I told him something about you. I told him about. They blacked out and killed your father. Big old mistake here. And then she gets to this point here. It's a big kind of climactic ending of this. Just again, so she's communicated to Norman. It's just kind of dumbfounded. Like, how could you tell someone this? How could you tell someone about this about me? And we get this little moment here. Right here.
But he told someone, and now this bad man knows. This man who hurt us. And he got James to tell him stuff about me, about us.
What bad man? Okay, none of this is making any sense. I can't believe that you're standing here telling me that. No, maybe you're not. Maybe you are not. Are you really here?
Yes, I'm here, and it happened.
Well, then how could you do that?
Because, Norman, you have no idea what it's like to be your mother.
Here we go.
To see you have these blackouts, to worry about your day-to-day, it's killing me. It's killing me. You're going to kill me, Norman.
Yeah, there it is. We've been anticipating it the whole season.
I'm sorry. I did not mean that. I am just upset. Okay. You need to lay low for a while. Okay? I'm just going to handle this. I will fix it, I promise. Okay, just please be careful. Lock the doors. Don't go anywhere. And I will be back as soon as I can.
So, you know, Norma's getting the overprotective mom mode at the end there. So I love is like, oh, you can lock the doors. Don't let any strangers in.
yeah, exactly.
But still, oh my God, big scene again. Some great acting as we can just come to expect in every episode. Just that moment where everything's boiled to a head of just she can't take anymore. This is the worst case scenario situation right now. Norman's kind of not competency, but kind of like Sandy's kind of being threatened here in terms of like him being maybe committed by somebody forcefully or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
As long as Norman's safety is threatened, and again, it's like the whole she's getting to like burn the town down to find Norman mode here, like in terms of her worry for Norman. So the stress just been piling on and piling on and piling on for her to the point where she just says, how could you do that? Because it's not easy being your mother. At this rate, you're going to kill me, Norman. You're going to kill me, Norman. Oh, my God.
I like how that's played because it's not literal. It's just kind of like in the moment, sort of like vented up frustration, which is really realistic.
And I love, like, there's this wonderful, again, Highmore, he owns this episode. It's this crestfallen moment from Norman Bates, just hearing the woman he loves most in this world. We've had a whole great scene establishing this, but just previously.
Of course. The
point where he's like these tears coming down his eyes, you can feel in the dark, man. In the dark, you see this tear coming down his eyes. Just all that emotion, just now hearing his mother just say these cutting words to him as if she's like cut his arm off or something. I'm thinking of some other things now because it's the movie.
Oh dear, I'm so sorry.
The point is, just thinking, so just the moment, like the words are just cutting into him, just that moment of, So that's how you feel, mother. Oh my god. Just
exactly.
that reaction. Then I love how she buys it back. She's realizing it's kind of that moment like the guys at Pixar said in some commentaries, they said like that whole moment like you bump the kid's head on the car door type moment of like I didn't mean it. I take it back.
Well,
just
and
that
also with Bob Harris, he's a bad man. I don't think he's a nice man.
Yeah, he is a very bad man. One could say the opposite of a nice man, definitely the opposite of a nice girl.
Oh God, indeed.
So again, that said, just really powerful. Just again, I love the moment where she buys back. She realizes instantly the error of her ways. She doesn't truly feel this way. She's just a lot of stress and like realizing, oh my God, I've just yelled. I've said the worst thing I can say to my kid. I'm taking it back as soon as.
Right.
Norman will never unhear that. He will never unhear that. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be ringing in his ears. Like, oh yeah.
And I love
until and beyond when he actually does kill her.
And I love this, Tiki. I love the moment that it just that just the instant after that is said. The minute she walks out of the room after she gives some advice there, he just says, sorry, he doesn't say, just he instantly goes into blackout mode. It transitions so seamlessly into blackout mode. He's hallucinating big time. Just basically that event, just her saying that to him was so shocking, so traumatic. And it's basically his world's crumbling around him. It shakes him into blackout mode,
Oh yeah.
And it's just this moment happens, and we have a return of our favorite, most beloved mother.
Don't fall apart, Norman. If anyone tries to hurt you, I will kill him. I got your back.
Don't talk to me.
I know what's best for you, honey. How to handle things, you know that's true.
Get away from me.
You can't run away from me, Norman.
Oh boy. Big.
Okay, yeah, and when she says that, we get like the iconic shot.
Oh yeah, I love that. When I saw that moment, I was like, "Oh my God, they've done it!" Just seeing her and she's in the window, and he can still hear her from down there in the window. Oh my God!
Oh man, it's so good.
It's
yeah,
literally the big
and of course we have that kind of foreplay with the dress where where it's coming down on the shoulders, and Norman, he kind of grabs the slip and he kind of pulls it down even further for a second.
Now I heard something very important. The series creators kind of pointed this out, and I thought it was brilliant. So rewatching kind of really sticks with you when you rewatch this. That remember, you'll recall a few episodes ago, Norman hid that exact same dress underneath his bed. Remember?
That's a very good point.
Now, there's more to it, Tika. There's a lot more interesting stuff to it. The point is he hides that dress under there, not just for the fact that he wants to be close to, wants that sense of his mother there. It's not just that. It's importantly, he's doing that, Tiki, so he can know that dress. There's no way that his mother. Basically, it helps him delineate what is hallucinated normal. His mother.
It's essentially a token, right? Like a token from Inception.
No, Tiki. Well, kind of. It's basically it's evidence that obviously she couldn't have found it there, so she wouldn't be wearing it. So basically, as long as that's under his mattress, he knows that he will not. He'll be able to tell what is hallucinated mother and what is real mother. Because real mother will never be able to wear that thing. I guess it is kind of like a token. But the point is, like, how can she wear that dress if it's not in her closet? Pretty much, that's why he hides it in bed. In addition to probably on some level, he feels close to that dress and he wants to, just be close to it.
Oh God.
And also, there's actually, I found this out. This blew my mind. There was a lot of significance to that dress. Do you know why? That, Tiki, was the dress that they wore when they came to White Pine Bay.
Is it really?
That was the first dress she ever wore in the series. Seriously, that's
neat. That's neat.
Yet another reason it's so important. So when everything just kind of took a turn in White Pine Bay, she was wearing that dress. So big stuff. And again, just the idea that it has a practical reason for why it's under his bed, but also a reason he's drawn to it because he's drawn to his mother. It's really interesting stuff. And again, just that window shot. Oh my God! And you're right, though. Just the moment she kind of comes in for the kiss, almost the hallucinated mother.
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
I love her just saying, if anyone tries to hurt you, Norman, I'm gonna kill him. So again, just Norman. Again, Norman. This is the battle for Norman's soul here. Just him trying to fight for his own soul here. Just kind of saying like, no, you're not real. Get out of here. I don't want to talk to you. Okay, this is not right. Again, it's a little heart-to-heart they have with Norman. It does have some ramifications. He's realizing it's natural to feel these feelings, but no, they're not right on some level. They're nothing. That's why I'm pushing out of the way. But no, you can't escape these feelings, Norman. That's the realization ultimately of this scene. Really brilliant stuff.
Indeed, indeed.
So then a little Juno comes to light, just to hammer in the idea that once again he's blacked out, and he's in definitely stage 1 blackout mode. And I guess I don't know. I kind of want to say stage 3, but then again, I guess he's conscious. He's conscious when he's chasing Juno. I don't know.
He is, yeah.
I guess it's still stage 1. Anyway, so when he's in stage 1 here, he's this happens, chasing her down the street.
Juno!
Kind of his white rabbit in a way. Big reveal. Ba-na-na. And I think we remember our last interaction between these two. One of them.
I don't think you're a nice girl.
Okay, well, to be fair, it ended on much better terms between those two.
You're right. I'm sorry. I mean, the last interaction wasn't that bad. I'm just saying a few interactions ago wasn't that good. This is what Norma. Basically, I assume full Norman would be thinking that.
Yeah, and I love the twisted look in Highmore's face when he sees her.
Yeah, he just sees potential, sweet, sweet potential.
And also, how sure were you, or how afraid were you that he was going to fall right into the pit when he was chasing Juno?
I genuinely feared that from saying, Norman, learn from your mistakes. Learn from your mistakes.
All right. So that about sums up the episode. So what else do you want to get into?
Let's get into some promo.
Okay, so the promo. Let's see. We have Bradley. She's like, I don't want to be dead anymore, Norman.
Oh, good stuff.
And then let's see. Bob is with Norma, and he's like, you don't get to call the shots anymore, Norma.
Uh-oh.
And Romero's done talking, and then Caleb's talking with Norma, and she's kind of foreshadowing Norman killing Norma. He's like, that kid's gonna hurt someone, Norma, and I'm just worried that it's you. And then we see a quick shot of Bradley and Norman getting intimate, and then the last shot of the trailer is Norma is in the basement, and Norman's just kind of yelling at her, like. And what do you think is going on there? Do you think she's clearing out the basement? Do you think she's kind of getting rid of the taxidermy and stuff?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I think she's just trying to make it look like he's gone away or something. They're trying to hide Norman.
Okay, that's an interesting theory. So you're saying that they're going to hide him from the cops and everything?
Yeah, they're trying to hide Norman for his own safety, so Barris can't use him, and just in case any goons come after him, or Romero eventually comes after him. One of those things.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bit of that, but also importantly, we should mention that she's pulling kind of like a Godfather she's pulling kind of a Godfather 2 here, just approaching Paris, saying, "I'll do whatever you want, whatever it takes."
Yeah, she is. And
I don't think necessarily Norman and Bradley getting intimate. They're just dancing together. I think it might be getting to that point. You're right, but because again,
I definitely think there's potential to get to that point.
Now here's an interesting idea, and I'm not sure they're going this route. I'm just saying it's a potential because the way it was kind of laid out in the last moment of this episode, there is a chance she might be a hallucination.
Wow. Okay, I didn't even consider that, but yeah, you're right. There is a chance of that.
I mean, it would make sense when you think about it.
I don't think so, but it's interesting. That's an interesting idea.
I think she's really there. I'm just going to say it. I'm just addressing the potential that, think about what the line she says in the promo just made me think that I'm tired of being dead, Norman. It might be him thinking that the one person who would not want to be dead, Bradley Martin.
Mm-hmm.
That would be explained why she in God's green earth, she would come back. But again, logically, there's no one who wants her dead now in this town, so she could come back if she wanted to, I guess.
And I'm just glad that we weren't just flat out lied to with her coming back, because for a while there, you and me were kind of almost convinced that she wasn't going to show up.
Yeah, so again, we might have some we might have some. I have to have shipping names here. Just want to make sure I'm pronouncing them right. Brorman.
Broman. Let's go with that. Broman.
I got Broman. I also got I got Nadley. Got Nadley or Broman.
I don't like Nadley. I like Broman better.
Actually, sorry, it's not Broman. It's Brorman.
Oh, Brahman.
No, Brorman.
Brorman?
Brorman. B-R-O-R man. Brorman.
Okay, B-O-R.
No, B-R-O-R.
Oh, Broman.
Like Brorman.
Brorman.
Yeah, Brorman.
Whatever.
Anyway, so Brorman or Nadley?
Oh, I'll go with the with option number A.
Okay, Brorman. So we might have some Brorman brewing here.
That's not quite as catchy as Nemma or Dylemma.
Yeah, seriously, Dylemma is so catchy. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, basically those are stuff we directly have that brewing with the promo coming up. Let's get into some spec based on that promo. Just how we think the ending of the season is going to take with our 2 episodes we have remaining.
Our next episode is called Crazy.
Oh boy. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna go on a limb here and say Norman's really gonna lose, and if we think he's lost it before, I think he's gonna go really crazy next episode.
Oh, I definitely think so. Yeah, I definitely think it's gonna lead to like the last episode of the season. What if the last episode of the season he's just in Norma mode the whole time? Like he's got the full dress and everything.
Oh, here, if they don't do it this season, they gotta do it next season. But, it'd be a great episode idea. If for the majority, at least the first half of the episode, what if Norma went missing and Norman was just filling in for Norma?
Oh god, that'd be great. Yeah. Or what if for a part of the episode, we have Norma present with Norman, but things are kind of getting sinister, and then we realize that Norma is Mother.
Oh, it'd be great if like Dylan was in the house and just we had the classic psycho setup of Norma's. As far as everyone concerned, Norma's just in bed sleeping the whole episode, but it's actually Norman as Norma in the bed.
No,
I don't know.
Okay.
And also,
question. What do you think is gonna?
Sorry, one important thing with the promo. The best shot of the promo we forgot to go over is that Norma shoveling dirt into the pit.
I was gonna ask you that transition. What do you think is gonna happen with the pit?
So I'm thinking, I think again, Norma at the end of this episode, she really was dead set on like protecting Norma at all costs. So I think she might be burying bodies in that thing, as I assume was intended. That's what the purpose of the pit. The purpose of the pit was to bury Norma's body, and just any bodies anybody gets in the way in this giant kind of mausoleum-sized pit.
All right. So you think Norma's gonna use that to bury some bodies?
I think whether she's going to kill him or not, I don't know. I think she's going to be burying bodies, definitely.
All right.
Well, to be fair, it could be like a thing where I guess if it's not burying bodies, it could be a thing where she's just frantically trying to cover up this pool. Or actually, what it probably is? I'll tell you what it probably is. It's probably going to be her normal freak out of like, I gotta cover this hole!
Exactly.
Stupid pool! You're a lie!
Okay, so we assume that that Caleb's going to go after Chick Hogan next episode.
Oh, certainly. Okay, no.
Okay, I think he might die.
Yeah, look, here's the interesting issue. When do you think, which episode do you think he's going to die? 9 or 10?
I think he might go after Chick, and then Chick might retaliate, and I think he might die saving Dylan from Chick.
I think he's going to die in episode 10.
Okay. So, and then I guess with Emma, do you think Emma's on her way out?
Well, here's something I think. Yeah, definitely Emma's on her way. I think she's dead this season. I'm going to call that. I think she's going to be dead this season, one way or another. Here's
man, that's going to be really crushing.
Well, all her options are now completely. There's no lung transplant. She's getting worse. She's a goner. Period.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Okay, now, however, here's what I think might, in terms of what I've been theorizing here. Because again, the only reason I didn't think Emma was going to fall down that pit is because in that trailer, we still have a shot that we have not gotten yet. And so far, we've been kind of consistent while getting all the shots in that trailer of, not the teasers, mind you, just the trailer. I want to specify that. Because the trailer had like the old peephole tease, which I'm going to get to in 1 second. 1 second. I think Emma I think Emma's going to sleep with Norman while Dylan's out of town. Out of some, like, just for a moment. I think it's going to be this. I think it's going to be Emma's going to have like a lapse in judgment or something. And basically, she'll give in to Norman. Maybe she'll probably find out her health's getting really poor, and then she's going to like figure out if she's going out, she wants to go out happy for some reason. If she's really low on time, sleeps with Norman. Norman doesn't know, and she dies as a result. And that just pushes Norman over the deep end, making him truly crazy.
Oh man! Oh god!
Because again, what his mother said to him, imagine the tension between him and Emma's father, but still just a bunch of that stuff going on. Just the fact that, I told you not to.
You need to see another scene with Norman and Mr. Ducote.
Yeah, they haven't met again this season yet. That has not happened yet.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Again, that'd be kind of a neat thing to bond them over. And what if he didn't hold Norman completely responsible? Well, she would have done this of her own accord anyway. I don't blame you, Norman, but still, it's a sad event. Something like that. But still, you know what I mean? There's what if, like, Norman, after he just wakes up and he finds her dead, what if his mother appears and just says, "I told you, Norman. Shouldn't have slept with her."
Oh god.
And again, here's something. Again, if that happens, the way I just kind of laid it out for you there, here would be kind of brilliant thing to go off here with Dylan. If she died before Dylan's return, it'd be kind of this unrequited love of, like, he always had feelings for that he could never fulfill because of his brother. There's always be that kind of embitterness between them.
Yeah, I would think that if she does die, that I would think it would just thematically make sense that she dies while Dylan is away or before she gets to see Dylan again.
Yeah, see what I mean? So I'm just saying, if we're getting that little...
And of course, that would, like, we have the letter, so that would be, like, something that Dylan would hang on to.
Yeah. Again, what if she even found out that her father somehow knew about Dylan's going to do something to get the money, and then she found out about that, and realizing he failed somehow. Then maybe that's when she turns to Norman, then she dies as a result. Just Dylan, towards the end, she's finding out because of his failure, she died even quicker. He's beating himself up for it. It's like he failed, and now she's dead, and he didn't even get to say goodbye to her.
Yeah. All right. So really quickly, any more spec?
I assume Romero's going to be saving the day in the last episode. In episode 10,
he always does.
He's probably going to be saving Norma from Paris. Also, probably going to be beating. Probably going to be killing. I think he's definitely going to kill Bob Paris' henchman. Bob's goon. So again, Hogan, I'm convinced, will reveal his true menace in the next episode. And here's an idea: if Bradley is in fact real, I think we're finally going to get. I'm hoping it's either going to be the next episode of Bradley or definitely in the last episode. They have to do this. We have to see that peephole.
Yeah, that's been kind of teasing us the whole
time. Think about it. What if Norman put her in that motel room next to the office, and he put the peephole in there?
So god, it's like systematically that'd be like his first like victim. Oh,
and remember, Tiki, she was his first period.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Man, there's a lot of connection there.
All right, so let's quickly go through. You want to run us through the blackouts?
Yeah, blackouts. We're going to chalk up an additional 2 because he blacked out. When the room went dark and he was talking to Juno after Emma kind of broke his heart. So there's that blackout. And then he's at stage 1 of blackout because he's just hallucinating very vigorously. Because remember, folks, it's stage 1 is hallucination, stage 2 is just unconscious, stage 3 is zombified mode, and stage 4 is full Norma. Okay, and the other blackout we got was towards the end when he's just kind of hallucinating really strongly, seeing his mother reappear, and he's running. And because if Bradley's real, if Bradley's real, I'm thinking that he's just in hallucination mode, but we'll see.
I definitely think he's in blackout mode because it's
still blackout mode. I'm just saying stage 1 blackout mode.
Right. Okay. So that brings our grand total up to 8 blackouts for season 3.
Yeah, a lot of blackouts.
8 blackouts.
To my knowledge, I believe is more than season 2, and actually both seasons.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we got 5 in season. If I'm just vaguely remembering, we got 5, debatably 6.
5 sounds right. Yeah, that sounds right.
Plus, I got to revisit the season 1 because there might be some technicalities you got to adjust in that one. But anyway, we'll see. Anyway, so then let's get to what's our checkout odds?
Okay, our checkout odds, really quick, just going down the line. Emma, last episode she was at 83%, and this episode she rises up to 90%, just based on the fact that kind of safety net of the $20,000 is off the table. Dylan, he was at 70% this last episode, but he goes down to 58% because I think he's kind of in the clearing. He kind of had his moment where he could have died and he didn't. And I think if anyone's going to die out of Dylan and Caleb, it's going to be Caleb. Norma, she was at 73%. I think she rises up of 5% about, just because she's getting into the deep end with Paris and because Norman's feelings are kind of on the table.
Wait a moment. Wait. Oh, sorry, I think Norma has a few words to say here.
Because everyone immediately jumps to I died. Hey, I'm not dead. I'm alive,
Sorry, go ahead.
Well played. Well played. Caleb, he was at 82. He goes up to 88. I really do think he's going to bite it, saving Dylan. And then Normero, he was up to 68. Kind of just went up slightly to 70 just because he's, he's going to be on the front lines battling the season's villains. Cupcake Boy, he went from 20. The only way he's going to bite it is if he's kind of in the crossfire with. And then Bob Paris, he was at 65. He goes up a little bit to 73 just because Bob Paris is getting very cocky. To make another Marvel Comics analogy, he's getting very Thanos-like. You know what I mean? He's feeling like he's on top of the world right now. And I think that's only going to lead to Normero kind of sending him back to Earth.
He's
and
got
then we have a new guy
on down, folks.
Right. Oh god. And then we have a new guy on the table, Bob's Goon, who's got a 75% chance of death just because of Normero coming after him. Finnegan, I don't think we're ever going to see him again, but if we do, it's maybe like a 30% chance that we'll ever see him again, and then he might get killed off. I don't think we're going to see him again, though. Chick Hogan's, he's at 63% from 48% last week because I think that obviously he's on Caleb's bad side, so that's very much not a good thing. Although we're crossing our fingers that he does survive. At least one of Chick or Bob has to survive. And then Mr. Dakota, he went from 5% to 4%. I think it's safe to assume he's safe. Watch, he's gonna die next episode.
Oh,
and then finally, Bradley Martin, she's on there, and we figure she's got about a 50% chance. There might be a chance that that she's coming into the season to kind of have a big, to make a big impact and die, kind of sending Norman more off the deep end. Or they might be saving her for season 4. So she's got a kind of a 50-50 chance there. So we'll put her right at 50%. All right. And finally, why don't you go over the RIP for this week?
So, folks, we are gathered here today to remember our dearly departed, and this episode, where we've added 4. Well, there are 4 victims of this episode. We're adding one name, their leader, to this list because he's the only one that counts. Pierre, the man who thought he was buying some art, but in actuality was buying guns, and in actuality was finally killing Chick Hogan, and it didn't go so well. So Pierre, he's a goner, and he's been added to our ever-growing tombstone.
Mon ami, I am always ready, as they say, to put on the show. There he is.
You really didn't seem that French, did he?
No, he didn't. All right, BlueDragonFive. I think that'll wrap it up for this week's Talking Mrs. Banks.
Hello. And he's frozen.
Mrs. Banks. You want to send us out?
Sure. Let's go out on a high note, or a high pitched note in this case.
Oh god. It will all be as happy as little Razor Clam.